Hi, people. Good to spend this time together with you. Thank you so much for joining us and being a part of our devotional series. We've been doing a work through in the book of 1 Peter. Got to tell you, I've really enjoyed it. I've learned so much about the man. I identify so much with the man in his humanness of Peter, his frailty, and his fallibility. And I'm thinking, man, I can identify totally with him. Identify with some of the lessons that he had to learn. But the thing that I love most about Peter is what he became. That here was this man who every time he seemed to open his mouth, he'd put his foot in it, to somebody that God just used so mightily for the kingdom of Jesus. Now, we looked at Peter's life, and I want to conclude that series, and I want to start today a new series. You all know that we're coming up in a few weeks, a couple of months' time, in fact, to the period of Easter and Passover, an incredibly significant time. If you're looking for emotion, if you're looking for drama, if you're looking for great stories, if you're looking for life lessons, then this period of time is going to be a good one, I believe. Some people will refer to the 40 days before the crucifixion of Jesus as being Lent. This is a time when people would prepare their hearts for this great event. It was very Jewish in its type. Before Passover, the people would go into their homes and they would prepare for the wonder of that which was to take place when the blood would be shed upon the doorposts, and that the lamb would be killed, and the supper would be had, and that the house would be purified. It was just an amazing period of time, so much focused around the aspect of being prepared for your personal application of the amazingness of this event. Now, we're a couple of months away, as we said, from this great event of Passover, or we would now call it Easter, and I want to do the same thing with you for the next couple of months. Look at the events that built up to the great event of Jesus' crucifixion and ultimately to the beauty of his resurrection. So I would like to take this period of time to talk to you about some fundamental things. Now, the way we're going to do it is we're going to be reading from the Gospels every day. I just want to read a portion of Scripture to you in its order as it builds up to ultimately the crucifixion scene. So I want to take you today to the book of Mark. Now, you may need to, if you schedule your time by the minute, please add another minute to your devotional time to these readings that we do, because I just want to read to you some of the aspects of this beautiful, beautiful story, and hope that you pick up on the magnitude of what Jesus went through on our behalf. So I hope that's okay with you. We're going to begin today. I want to take you into the book of Mark. We will begin this reading in chapter 10. It's the build-up to the time just before Jesus enters Jerusalem, and this is what it says. Listen carefully. Verse 39. They were on their way to Jerusalem. This is the disciples and the followers of Jesus, with Jesus leading the way. And the disciples were astonished, while those who followed were afraid. Again, he took the 12 aside and he told them what was going to happen to him. We are going up to Jerusalem, he said, and the Son of Man, which is a reference to Jesus himself and his humanness, will be betrayed to the chief priests and the teachers of the law. They will condemn him to death and will hand him over to the Gentiles, who will mock him and spit on him, flog him and kill him. But 3 days later, he will rise. Now here Jesus is telling him, hey guys, here's the deal. This is what's going to be happening from now on. And the disciples, many of them must have looked at this and said, what? You, the Messiah, are going to have this happen? We thought that you were going to come and deliver Israel from the Romans, and you were going to be a great leader on a white horse. But now Jesus says to them, nah, that's not the plan. Let me tell you what the plan is. And he shares with them what I've just read to you, that the Son of Man, he himself, will be taken by evil men and they will beat him, they will spit on him, they will flog him, they will hang him upon a cross, and he will die. That, guys, is the plan. Now, the interesting thing that I just want you to focus on today is that first verse where it says, and the disciples with Jesus were leaving Jerusalem with Jesus leading the way. Jesus leading the way. In order for him to lead the way, he must have known the plan, and indeed he did. From eternity past, this plan was being formed, and God's time was just perfect. The timing of his birth was right on the button to the second, and now the timing for his ultimate demise and his death was also on that plan. And Jesus was just working through the plan that God had put into place way back in eternity past. I want you to notice that this is not a plan that God said, man alive, you know, the earth has really got itself into a mess now. Jesus, do you mind going down there to redeem those people and to claim them back for us? This is not that. On God's heart and God's mind and in God's plan for our future, our resurrection and our journey into heaven one day, this was on the heart of God from the time that you were a twinkle in God's eye, and way, way before that. Who can put a time to it? We don't know. We're human beings. We don't understand this. But in the heart of God, there would come a time when this event would take place. Jesus knew that. And so here he is journeying towards that which he knew was going to be painful, that which he knew would be dreadful, that which he knew would be sad, and just the culmination of all the emotion that would go with his death. Jesus knew what he was going to. He led the way. Jesus was not dragged to the cross, people. No, Jesus did not come and they said, oh, well, let's just crucify him. This was the plan of God. If he'd wanted to get out of it, he could have called 10,000 angels and they would have come in and taken him away back to heaven again, and Jesus didn't need to go through it. But Jesus knew that this was the culmination of the plan of God. It wasn't going to end with just the death, because we know the resurrection was still to happen, and there's still another resurrection that is still going to happen. But this was a fundamental milestone in the fulfillment of the plan of God for your redemption. Now, I said just now that they put Jesus on the cross, and I'm thinking of some of the songs that we sing that talk about them. I got to tell you people, it's not them, it's us. I was a part of the culmination of Jesus' death. Who knows how I would have behaved at the point of Jesus. Maybe I would have been a betrayer. Maybe I would have been one of those that would have stood at the foot of the cross and mocked him. I don't know. But I do need to identify with them. I was part of them. And when Jesus left Jerusalem, knowing that he was on his way to redeem mankind, he had you and me in mind. This was God's plan. He was not forced to die. Jesus willingly laid down his life for his sheep. I don't know what that does to you, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happened over the course of the next few events, few chapters of the Gospels, as we pick up this theme of Jesus leading his own way to his own death, because he knew the plan of God. Now, that thought alone should totally blow you away. It certainly does me. And I invite you to ponder that with me over the course of the next 2 months. Have a good day, people, and we shall see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.